I am the director of our consultation here for our North American market. And myself, just like many of you, I came here as an international student as well. So when I tell you I understand the challenges that we all face after graduation and that uncertainty of how to enter the market, I experienced it firsthand. And I think that's why I have a very good understanding of how we can help make your transition from being a student to a professional as smoothly as possible. So I work for Intermatch, and what we do is that we tell you about our internship programs and how we've been helping thousands of students find internships, building their careers after they graduate from their programs. So for today's seminar, we're going to be talking about the 7 factors of how we work together and how it will actually benefit you. So the very first thing that we're going to be talking about is what an internship is.
Right. I think that's very important topic because of most of the students, especially Chinese international students, when they were in college, they really focus on the academic side.
For sure.
Very few students, they know about internship when they enter the college. But actually, it's so important for them to know internship and use it to strengthen their background before they got their degree and diploma.
For sure.
Satura, would you mind to tell us what internship is? What does it mean?
For sure. So internship is your very first step towards building your career. Once you commit to an internship, you will actually be monitored and mentored by professionals within your industry who are going to be taking the time to not only train you in terms of the professional factors of being in the workplace, but also the work culture. So depending on the length of your internship, whether it's 3 months, 4 months, you're going to be receiving intensive training of what it's like to actually put every skill that you learned when you were a student into practical use. And the best part about internship is that you will be working with people who have been in the industry for years. You will be assigned a mentor who's going to be working with you closely and make sure that you're really doing what's meant within your industry. We don't assign our interns to jobs that have nothing to do with their field of studies, things that are not related. We set the bar very high and we have expectations from interns as well. What we really want to give you is a real life work experience. And that's going to be your gateway, your pathway, your door into finding that full-time job, dream job that you want to have as your career.
And Satura, lots of students, they have heard of an internship, but they don't really know how the internship can bring a job to them. What's the benefit, the internship for them? And so a lot of people, they just heard of it, a lot of students, but they never step into the field of internship. And well, they deserve it. Would you mind to tell us something about it?
Absolutely. So internships have been around pretty much since the beginning of time. What is different about our services is that we will customize your needs. We will match you with the perfect internship, something that will complement your education, your personality, your expectations of what you want to do. So finding that proper fit for you will give you 3 months of intensive training in a practical work environment that will actually help you get ready, find a full-time job. And once you go through these internships, because these are very reputable companies, having that on your resume gives you this huge asset and benefit when it comes to applying for those full-time jobs. So the biggest benefit of having these internships is the reputation of the companies you're going to be working with, and also the set of skills that you're going to be learning through our training and also the training that you're going to be receiving during your internship.
May I have a question instead of lots of students? A lot of students, when they are looking for an internship, they refer that I want to go to the most prestigious companies. I want to Google. I want to go to the American Bank. I want to go to the top companies in the field. And can you tell us the difference or the meaning, if they can But actually, in reality, not everybody can get that first tier companies. Can you tell us more about the meaning of the internship for the students to take like a startup intern, like the middle size, and how it will bring them to the reality of the job?
Absolutely. That's a great question, Lily. And I think that's probably the most asked question when it comes to our business. Every candidate, every student that we talk to, their mindset is set on a bigger company. They're always after those companies that are very well known. They have thousands of employees. They have locations all around the world, which is a good thing. It's good to have that type of a mindset. But when you're an intern, the most valuable thing you can get is one-on-one training with your mentor. And when you work at a bigger company, they're more focused on the product than actually training their employees. So it's very difficult for someone who find an internship in a bigger company and get that one-on-one training, one-on-one mentorship from those people. So people who actually start as interns working at bigger corporations, bigger companies, they actually end up not doing what they want to do. They're assigned very simple tasks, very simple administrative work. And that's not the kind of internship you want to have. You really want to put yourself out there. You really want to challenge yourself. And working at those biggest companies most likely will not provide you with that opportunities. Whereas when you're working for a startup, for a small or medium-sized company, because of the smaller size of those companies, you really get to interact with every single team member. You get to be mentored. You get to be supervised by people who are going to be spending specific time training you, making sure that you are truly learning, making sure that you're challenged on a daily basis, challenges that will teach you. So the difference between a smaller to medium-sized company to those bigger companies is that they will truly invest in you. They will spend the time, they will teach you. They will make sure that you're treated as part of the team, not someone who is a small fraction of a bigger company. So in my opinion, something that has worked really well with our interns in the past, and I'm talking about the past 6 years placing interns, they have had a much better experience working at smaller or medium-sized companies because they're truly mentored, they truly learn. Whereas the bigger companies, they're assigned with very simple tasks that you don't really need to do an internship for.
Okay, may I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
Because of the students care about what they can put on the resume. So, well, the internship in startup and also the medium-sized companies works the same as the larger size?
Absolutely. And when it comes down to your resume, I've also worked as a recruiter for years. So the very first thing that these recruiters notice on your resume is not necessarily the name of the company, but your responsibilities at your role. So if you're working at a smaller size to medium-sized company, the chances are really good that the responsibilities that you're assigned to are far more advanced than working at a bigger company. So they're not going to be looking at the name, they're going to be looking at your role and the level of responsibilities that you were given. And that is something that's going to make your resume much, much stronger. Okay,
great. So that's always a question for most of the students when they're looking for an intern. And the work readiness program is government approved. So can you explain what does it mean, government approved?
Absolutely, I can definitely tell you all about that. So if you have a LinkedIn account, you see that a lot of all these certificates, programs are offered. You can do them online and then you're going to be certified. Hundreds of people do it on a daily basis, but it doesn't really teach you much. Our government approved work readiness program is actually designed by professionals within the industry, which actually create this online program, which is quite intensive. It requires a lot of reading and a lot of practical skills to actually complete it. So it's actually designed by professionals and it's designated by the government because it's a program that is proved to work for students. It's not something that you do online. It's not something that you take on LinkedIn or some website. It's something that's actually designed by people who are assigned to us from the government and it's designated. So it's a very intensive, professional, and very practical program.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
And So so a lot of students ask, I can apply for an internship by myself, but why I have to apply internship through the work brilliance program or work Readiness program, and what's the benefits that they take the internship through the intern program?
Absolutely. So finding an internship on your own may not sound that difficult because a lot of companies are interested in taking on interns. What is different from doing our work readiness program is that we will make sure that you're going to be professionals before entering the job market. The attitude of a student, a fresh student graduated from their program, and the attitude of someone who has been trained and has received proper training as a professional, it's going to be very different within the workplace. And we've had this feedback from a lot of our companies who host our interns. They always tell us, even though these are freshly graduated students, they're extremely professional. They understand the work culture. They understand what it's like to write in a professional language. So everything that has to do with professionalism that differentiates them from a student to an employee, a professional, is taught within that program. Also, our program helps people upgrade their skills. So for example, if you are in the information technology field, if you are a web designer, if you're someone who likes to code, our program will actually update you with the most updated version of what is out there in the market. So once you start your internship, you actually have a very good understanding of the latest updates within your field. You don't go there without any idea of what's going around you. And that is something that employees appreciate. And that is something that will increase your chances of actually getting hired after the length of your internship, because from the very first day, you have left a very good impression.
So if the students joined the intern program and to enter org to take their intern, they're going to monetize and they were helped by all the time from the process, from the beginning of application and prepare for the interview, and also in the process of their internship. So we are going to help them to be used to in a professional environment, and to train them to be a professionalist.
Absolutely.
And that's why the intern program has such a high return job offer. 65% of the students who took the intern, they get the return offer is because of the extra help from the professionals and to work with us. And also, I have a question. If the students who joined the internship through our program got any difficulties, like he has any conflicts or he's not satisfied with the contents when he's taking the intern, what would you do?
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up, because as a part of our services, we have weekly check-ins with both the interns and the companies. So we are very much on top of absolutely everything that's going on during the length of your internship. So if you find that it is not working out for you, or if you find that you are facing challenges, you have full support. You have full support when it comes to your training. You have full support when it comes to the way you're being treated at work. You are insured, you have insurance when you're at work. So anything that comes in terms of challenges, you actually have full support from our team. Not to mention that we also do check in with the company as well, just to make sure that you are receiving the training that was promised to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
And as you have told us a lot of information about the intern program, so I think a lot of students have taught that program before. Would you mind to show us a few cases?
Absolutely. So I'm going to tell you a few stories that we've had from our international students who actually took the program and they were unable to find internships afterwards. And unfortunately, one of the main challenges that international students face is that the very first thing they're going to be asked is if they've ever had any American work experience. That's probably the very first question, whether you're applying online or if you're talking or if you're doing an interview. That is probably the very first question that's going to come up. Have you had American work experience? So we have had probably hundreds of students that we have worked with. And what happened to them is that 3-4 months after graduating from some of the top schools, we were talking about Johns Hopkins University, we were talking about Berkeley, all these big name universities, they're unable to find internships. And once they start working with us, we match them with the proper employee. We match them with someone who's willing to mentor them, someone who's willing to invest in them. And then once they do the internship, they were able to actually either get hired at the same company or move on to better opportunities. But the turnouts, the return on your investment is actually quite rewarding because these people now have that American work experience within reputable companies. And also when you look at their resumes, they're assigned to a set of responsibilities where the hiring manager wants to see. So once you're done with that internship, you're no longer an international student with no American work experience. Now you are a graduate from one of the best universities in the States, working at this company, and also very familiar to how the business works.
Okay, great. So once the students join the intern program, and I just heard that you have a case that a student come and he's asking for a return offer in advance. That was very special because of he got the admission offer from Columbia University. Mm-hmm. At the same time, he was hesitated if he's going to go to Columbia directly or he's going to delay that admission offer later. And also, if he delayed it, he's going to use the OPT to finish. I think he graduated from New York University. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And he asked us if you can help me to get a return offer. And even with that return offer request, and we are working for it. Can you tell us how we sort it out and bring him into an intern position?
Absolutely. So 2 things about your question. Firstly, our internships are designed in a way where you will have a flexible schedule. So most internships are 3 days a week and for a total of 20 hours. So you actually get to go to school if you're a student, if you want to attend to other errands and everything. So your internship is not going to take up all your time. It's mainly and usually a part-time internship, 3 days a week, up to 20 hours with fairly flexible schedules. So if you're a student, you actually do have that option. But for this very specific case, we take pride on being extremely transparent and honest when it comes to our students. So we always tell them we cannot 100% guarantee a return job offer. We would never lie about it. But what we can tell you is that our numbers show that people who take internships, they've received a lot of return job offers from the same company or sister companies or companies within the same field. Now, this very specific student that you're talking about had to choose about going back to school or taking the internship. And he actually chose the internship because we were able to match him with a company that matched his requirements, his expectations when it came down to wanting to do an internship. So when it comes to choosing, we give you options. When we were working with this specific student, we actually gave him, I think, 4 options out of very reputable companies that we work with. And he had interviews with all of them because we wanted to make sure that from a cultural point of view, from the work culture, you also feel comfortable. You're also doing your internship at a place where you feel like you're safe, you're secure, and also it falls within your values as well. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is when you're doing these kind of internship for this specific student, he had 4 options. He didn't have to settle for one, and then he chose the one that best matched his expectations.
Right, and because of I heard that during the match of his internship, and our consultant put a lot of energy to call different companies who's going to provide openings for in the new year. And if they have a preference to choose the candidates from the internees, so that it's at the possibility that he's going to get a return offer after.
Very possible.
It's very hard if you do by yourself. If
Yeah.
you just contact a company, you cannot request that kind of, it's a weird condition.
It's really weird. And Lily, just to add something to this very specific case, because we do weekly check-ins with the company and with the intern, this person started his internship 4 weeks ago, and both the employee, the company, and the intern are quite happy. And the check-ins that I've had with the company, we are very much sure that he's going to receive a full-time job offer after his internship, because he's also trying really hard. He's also being very proactive. He's being very, very engaged within the work community. He's engaging with his coworkers. He's learning. He's really putting in 100%. And the feedback that we've received from the company is that they're very happy with his work. And also they do have openings. So the chances are very good that the specific intern will actually receive that job offer.
Right. Good. That's a very good case.
Yeah.
Yes. And also I just want to ask what is the opportunities available right now, because of September, October are on-campus job fair. Sure. And lots of companies, they went on campus and bring the opportunities to the students. So what the opportunities that our program is providing to the students?
Perfect. So we are currently working with over 1,200 companies all around the US. In pretty much every state, we have companies in the fields of IT, business, architecture, law, even health sciences, finance. Finance is one of our biggest industries. So regardless of your industry, we actually have those 1,200 connections, companies that we've worked with before, companies that have mentored, trained, and really invested in our interns. So when it comes to our network, we're actually working with a very strong network, and it's only getting stronger. So regardless of your field of studies, regardless of what you're interested in, we definitely have something for you within our network. So feel free, call us, talk to us, and we will definitely create the introduction.
Okay, and to let the students know the program better, and I would like to share some data of the intern program with the students together, because I'm controlling the sharing function and instead of Satara. And see, this is the high rate. And here is the, it's a global network.
It is.
Yeah, in North America, we got a 20% of the companies. Africa got a 10%, Europe got 25%, Asia got a 10%, Australia got a 35%. And our host companies, according to the scale, 25% are high growth, early stage companies. It means that startups and small companies, and the small business is 30%. Medium-sized business is the 30%. The large business companies is only 15%, but it's a pretty high because of these large companies. They cover mainly in all of the fields. So that's the most attractive part to all of the students. And let me see. Here. Yeah, because if you just refer the different fields that the students can choose, I'm going to show the students that we have science, health, finance, art, accounting, communication, business, environment, engineering, even tourism and hospitality. So it covers almost all of the common, general, and also very special areas of different the career track. And that's amazing part. Satura, I just want to let you tell the students. We got some extraordinary partners you just referred, and these companies are in the 15% of the companies. They are big companies. We cannot promise that we can fill into these companies, but we do have the network with these companies, right?
Absolutely. So as you just mentioned, even though we work with all sorts of companies, smaller size, medium size, or larger size, for the past 6 years, we've actually worked with really big names like United Airlines, Amazon, Salesforce. These are companies that actually take on a lot of interns when it comes to information technology, finance, even hospitality. So pretty much in those fields, we have had very successful placements within these bigger companies as well. And something really amazing, since COVID actually happened, a lot of these companies are now offering both remote, hybrid, and in-person internships now. So if you're someone who is based in New York, for example, and you want to do an internship in, for example, Silicon Valley, Microsoft, somewhere, in California, you actually do have the option to do something remotely these days. Just to keep that in mind.
So, just because of your refer, they are remote and in person. So a lot of students ask, what kind of the form that we are providing, in person or online or any kind of.
For sure. So the internships that we offer include all 3 business models. You can do it in person, where you go to the office full-time or part-time. You can do a hybrid model where you do both in person and work from home, or you can do a fully remote internship. And a lot of people have concerns about doing a remote internship because they're like, am I really going to learn? And our response is absolutely. The feedback that we've received from our interns who are doing remotely is just as high as people who are doing hybrid or in person. And something that's really amazing about doing an internship remotely is that a lot of our students are actually actively studying as well. So they're still finishing their program, they're still finishing their degree, bachelor's, master's, and they're also gaining that work experience through a remote internship. So it's actually perfect for someone who is currently in school and also wants to gain that work experience, or for anyone else who wants to do a remote position. But the feedback that we get from both companies and interns is that the learning, the mentorship, and the work experience in general is just as effective as doing it in person.
Okay, thank you. So we can take the in-person, distance, and hybrid.
Absolutely.
Format and works for the students. So can the students choose by themselves? Or
yeah, absolutely. So when we do the consultations with the students, we really get to understand their needs and their expectations. So we do ask them if they want to do an in-person, hybrid, or remote. We ask the student if they have a car, if they're willing to travel. We ask the student about the culture. Like, do you want to be at a place where the most majority of people come from different parts of the world, or would you rather work in a company where it's like based in a specific market? So whatever your needs are, whatever your expectations, we are matchmakers. And that's why those consultations are extremely important, because we really get to understand you. We want to learn about you and what you want out of your internship, because we want to customize your internship program. We just don't want you, we don't match people with something just because it's within their industry. We really look at your personality as well. And that's why your internships have worked out really well, because when it comes to personality, it's also a good fit with those companies.
Okay, thank you, Satura. And thank you for telling us everything about the intern program. And I would like to give the next 10 to 15 minutes to the audience who's in our webinar to ask questions because of it's a very rare chance, and Satura is very busy. And I'm so happy that he can join us the webinars today. And if there's any questions, you can just turn on your voice, or you can turn on the camcorder, or you can just put it into the chat box.
Okay, I'll read through some questions sitting in the chat box. So
there is one in the chat box. Does the internship need a CPT or OPT and sponsor H-1B for international students? And I can just answer it if there's anything that Satura can just give more information. Mostly for the students who are now in the college, you can use your CPT or OPT to take your intern after the first year of or the second year of your graduation. You can use OPT, and if you are in your college, you can use the CPT. But a sponsor for H-1B now for internship is not that reliable. It's not that practical. So that's the answer. Is anything that you can tell us more about it?
You said it perfectly, Lily. And I want to emphasize that sponsorship is not something that should be your main focus. Your work experience should be. So if you're wondering if you're going to receive sponsorship, it's not 100% guaranteed. What is guaranteed is your work experience, but you can work and do the internship under your CPT or OPT.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Satura.
Sure.
So for international students, that's one of the hardest part, that they need to survive in a new environment, in a new culture, and after the graduation, they enter a new professional culture, and it adds the things together is become complicated, and it's even harder for the international students to merge into the right career track and to develop their career paths constantly. So we would like to help everyone who wants to step in it. And also, Satura, on behalf of the students, I would like to ask you questions, because of some of our students, they apply to join our program from when the first year they entered the college, when they were a freshman. Do you think it's necessary to repeatedly to take the intern?
We've had people who have done 2 or 3 internships with us, and let me tell you why. Because people who are fresh college students, they're just starting to learn. But if you're doing an internship during that, the chances are really good that you're getting trained on things that are not as advanced, but you're still learning. And the best part of it is learning about the work culture, because the faster you learn about the American work culture and how it actually works, the easier it would be for you to actually enter the market. And the second internship that they would do with us is more advanced. It's for things that they've learned in school towards the end of their education or after their education. And these are these advanced skills that they can actually apply in the workplace. And once they do the second internship with us, that's when you actually have built yourself a very strong resume, where you actually have multiple American work experiences. Even if it's an internship, still considered a work experience. So when you apply for the actual full-time paid job, you actually have years of American work experience, you've got your set of skills, and you also have references, people who are going to speak on behalf of you and say, this person, even though was a fresh student at the college, they were showing professionalism, they know about what they're doing, and they're just growing and learning. So just building that image for you through your internships early on actually does help quite a bit.
Okay, thank you. And any more questions? Here is another question. Is the mentorship a course? How long does the mentorship usually take before I got an internship job offer?
So we have the internship course, which is an intensive online course that you need to complete before we start matching you with these companies that we work with. So most people, because they're really eager to start their internship as fast as possible, finish this online program in 1 week. It's at your own pace. We've had people who have done it in 1 week. We've had people who do it at 4 weeks, but it's designed in a way that you can actually finish it in 1 week. And once you do the internship training, which includes your resume building, your interview skills, we're going to give you the tips on how to actually impress the employers, on your LinkedIn, on business language, how to actually provide a conversation when you're actually being interviewed or even at workplace. So once you're done with that program, that's when we actually assign you to the internship. That's when we actually start giving you interviews with all these companies who would be willing to take you on. So the program, the actual internship is usually 12 weeks, which is 3 months, part-time, 3 days a week, but you need to finish the actual intensive online training before you do that, because that's how you're going to gain that professional attitude of how you can actually start the internship.
Okay, any more questions? So I think that the internship is not like a one time and the done and it's over. It's the beginning of the career path. So the more you repeat that, the better you can do on that, and the more background you can accumulate it for when you are looking for the real job, when you're facing that time. I think it's worth the students to do the intern in every summer so that you can get different achievement at a different stage. And also with the help of our intern team, you can even do better and better. So that's also a yearly learning progress for the students. And Satura, according to the students, I got a question because of when I talked to the students, a lot of them, they asked for the paid intern and unpaid intern. I know that most of the students, when they are first time they got an internship, it's very hard for them to get a paid intern. But a lot of them, they worried if the intern is not paid, does it mean it's a real intern, like the real intern from the org? So can you tell us something about the paid and unpaid and intern to answer this question?
That's a great question. And I'm going to go back to my recruitment days when we would look at someone's resume. We weren't looking at how much they were getting paid hourly or if they were on a salary. We were looking at resume, the role they had, and the list of responsibilities. So whether you're a paid intern or an unpaid intern, and just to clarify, it is very unlikely for someone to find a paid internship in the US because that would be a job. It wouldn't really be an internship. The whole purpose of an internship is to gain that work experience, to be mentored, and to really receive those kind of advanced skills to really maximize your skills. But when you're looking at someone's resume, and if someone has done an internship at a finance company doing like data analysis, they're not going to look at your hourly pay. They're going to look at your responsibilities and what you've learned. So believe me when I tell you, being paid and unpaid doesn't take away from the value of the job that you're doing. So it doesn't really make a difference.
And a more question about it, because of lots of students ask about paid and unpaid. Does the org or company treat the paid and unpaid intern with the same attitude, or they treat them the same way?
100%. And let me tell you something. When we choose these companies that are going to host our interns, they also have to go through training as well. They also get screened. So when we are doing the consultation with these companies as well, we make it very clear that the interns that we place are not people who are going to go get them coffee. They're not people who are going to file your papers for you. This is not the kind of internship we offer. We want to make sure that every single intern, regardless of their background, education, or age, are being treated with respect, are being treated with so much passion when it comes to their work. And also we want them to be tough. We want them to give them very large, challenging tasks, because that's how you're going to learn. But when it comes to being treatment, it's exactly the same level of respect. And if we ever hear from an intern during our weekly check-ins that they're not receiving the level of expectation or they're not being treated with respect, we will right away go back to that employer. We will talk to them. We will talk to the company to resolve the issue, because that is absolutely not acceptable for us. When I tell you that we have the full support for our interns, it's not just the practical job experience. It's also making sure that they're within a safe environment where they're being respected and they're being treated as equals, whether you're getting paid or you're not.
Okay, thank you, Satura.
Sure.
So I think that's the time that very close to the end of our webinar. And I just share a QR code here because of this webinar was hosted by HiSquare. Thank you so much for the HiSquare team. Thank you so much for get all the information and tell the students about our brilliant and intern program. And we do provide the free consultation for the students who sign up. and you're going to talk to our team, and then your resume is going to be evaluated by our consultant team, and we're going to give you a feedback. You are going to have the chance to have 2 meetings with the professional, the consultant. So if you want to join us after the webinar, you can scan this QR code, and you're going to connect with the HiSquare staff, HiSquare team, and they're going to forward your information to us. And then we can build up the relationship between our program and you. I wish that our program can help you to step into the real professional career track and help you to grow and to get more opportunities in the future. So thank you everyone for joining the webinar, and I'm going to pass it to the HiSquare team.
Thank you, Lily. So I guess that's all what we had down today. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Satire. Feel free to add us from the QR code of our WeChat. Also, you may scan my personal QR code for the left corner. It's easier if you feel the official account is not that easy to contact. Feel free to contact us. Thank you so much. Thank you for your cooperation, time, and patience and help. We all have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, just one extra thing about HiSquare. We are a new social media platform. We provide interesting activity about health, about study, about outdoor parking activity, parties, musical festival, etc. Feel free to visit our website at HiSquare. Thank you.